that's the thing about Nigeria. We live so much in pride, and pride can kill you, and pride can make you go broke. And you see what's going on in the country because of pride. That's why we are broke. We want the finest things. We want this, we want that, and that's why we always don't know how to make the money circulate around the people because we just want to go spend our money internationally. But you're not giving them the growth. You're not giving them the opportunities. You're not letting them to trade freely. You're not letting them to create, and you're not supporting them. You're not even donating into their business. Like give them some kind of a support, like the American people will do. They will support their business because it creates jobs for the people.
Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Lost Lagosians, a podcast covering topics about Lagosians, Nigerians, and Africans in general in diaspora, as well as trending topics and challenges of Lagosians and Africans in diaspora. I'm your host, Brother Mike. Today we wanted to talk about a subject that is of importance to a lot of Nigerians and Africans in diaspora, and I've got someone here to help me kind of navigate the waters, and excited to bring him on board. So let's go ahead and introduce our guest. Hello, sir. How are you today?
I'm doing fine, and you're speaking to the one and only Shopay.
Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate that you can join us.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you very much for that. So let's kind of start with why would someone be interested in shipping, say, stuff back home? I think that's, what we want to talk about today. So I'm just going to kind of throw that out to you and see why would anyone look into doing that?
Well, I think a lot of people like to do that because Nigerians does not manufacture cars or or build any cars. So basically, all our cars are foreign cars in Nigeria. If we and that's something to really talk about, to go into details. I don't really want to branch off, but how come, Nigeria does have like a old automotive manufacturer factories that can come to Nigeria and help the economy out for people building cars also in Nigeria. I think that would be a great, great, great idea for Nigeria to start seeking those revenue and for our people.
There's a car company in Nigeria. I just wanted to point that out.
Oh, okay.
It's actually out in Nnewi, Anambra.
Oh, wow.
It's called Innoson, Innoson. It's or they call it IBM for short. I was in Nigeria actually recently, and I was actually quite surprised myself.
Wow.
It's out in Anambra. According to folks, it's been out for some time. A lot of the part of the cars are produced in Nigeria. So again, it's not fully 100% produced in Nigeria. So Innoson is out in Anambra, right, in Nnewi, and they produce about 70% of the parts of the car. The rest of the parts of the car they ship from China, Japan, and Germany. So Innoson vehicles are used mostly in West Africa, especially places like outside of Nigeria, obviously Mali, Sierra Leone, and Ghana.
Oh, wow.
I just wanted to point that out. That we do have a car company in Nigeria, and that's Innoson Motors. Go ahead.
So it's only based in Anambra. Is that what you said it is?
Anambra is where they're assembling the car, so it's more like an assembling facility.
Yeah.
Where they buy like the chassis, the engine, and the engine. They buy that from outside Nigeria, and then they assemble it. 70% of the parts are made locally in Nigeria.
Right. So basically, that's good. I can say that's really good, but we need more of that. I'm not just saying just basically focusing on just one state alone, and it's in Anambra. I'm just thinking about like big cities like Lagos and Abuja, Port Harcourt, just like just other areas. Like here in America, there's a few factories all over the place. You have like General Motors, Um, that's technically almost every corner of the United States. And if you remember, there used to be a General Motors in Danville, Illinois, before it got shut down. That's basically in the community in Danville, Illinois. There's a lot of people that benefit from General Motors being in their city because it boosts the economic and creates jobs for its people. So what I'm trying to imply is that if a lot of these other companies can also like bring jobs to Nigerians and help the country, I think that would be a great idea to do.
Well, the infrastructure needs to be present. So roads needs to be present. You need to be able to move trucks between and out of the places. You need to have constant electricity. You need to have water, which a lot of those are lacking in most parts of Nigeria. Although Innocent did announce recently that they're going to be opening 3 more plants. But again, like you were talking about, I mean, it'd be nice to have those cars, manufacturers everywhere, like in the States or say places in the UK. You have plants all over the place, and locals can get jobs. But I mean, I think it's a good start, and it'd be nice to have the federal government also to support Innocent in their efforts. What I've heard about them though is like the cars sometimes can be a little bit pricey. So foreign cars may be cheaper, I guess.
Right.
But who knows? Yeah.
I'm not really aware of Innocence. So Innocence, are they really making their own personal cars, or they're making parts for cars to sell out to abroad and they use it to? So was Innocent? Was they what they
Yeah,
about?
so they make the cars and they sell in Nigeria. Their factories in Nnewi, Anambra. They make the cars, they sell the cars in Nigeria. It's not necessarily cars, I mean, that like they're not like top of the line, whatever. Although they argue that they have some top of the line cars, but generally most people know the foreign cars more than local Nigerian cars. But they do ship their cars to Sierra Leone, Mali, a few African
Right.
West African countries.
So basically, this Innocent company in Nigeria build in Anambra, most especially, they build their own car from scratch, like from the ground up, and they're selling it to the public. Wow. I think that is great, and I think we should, as a Nigerian, should also be able to support them. It doesn't matter what are they doing or they're getting it done, but I think we should give them some support, like buy cars from them and use it because basically most of it is made in Nigeria. So it's good to support companies like that.
I'm sure the government is supporting them in some effort. Although, if you look at Nigerian government, a lot of them prefer foreign cars because they are faster. And Nigeria, over many, many years, have had contracts with those foreign cars manufacturers. So think of when I was in Nigeria recently, you have Toyota Tundra, for example, and Toyota Tacoma. Those cars, the government has contract with Toyota. So the police departments, they're all using Toyotas. And then you have different states that have different contracts with different car manufacturers. Some is General Motors and Ford. And Nigerian government buy like 50 brand new 2021 or 2022 Toyota Tundras or Toyota Tacomas. And again, it's a little bit expensive because
Yeah.
it's cheaper to buy local. But if they
Right.
have a contract, it's possible to get an agreement with
Do you see where
Toyota.
the dilemma is right there? If the government would support the Innocent Motors company, it would have been far better for the company. It would give other people trying to create, companies like that, manufacturing companies, and it could give them instead of them buying other parts from abroad, they could have been manufacturing that part now in Nigeria by this time. Because here in America, the government supports their local dealerships and local manufacturing automotive productions and creations. They give them 100% of everything. Like you were talking about the Chevy and everything that the American use. They use the American owned cars for their policing, American owned cars for their government purpose that they do. Okay, they use American manufacturing cars. I understand we don't have a lot of manufacturing cars in Nigeria, but if we do have this innocent motors, I think it will be better for us to invest in them. So that will create more opportunities and more people come into Nigeria and trying to invest also in this creation.
Yes, and I completely agree with you. It is not to say that there's no contract in place with innocent models. It's just going to take time for that adoption, for people to adopt. So I'm sure, the government is probably aware of this. This is something they're proud of. This is something they want to support. But it's just, again, it's kind of a little bit newer to, the whole auto industry, especially if the country.
How long has they been out? Do you know?
From what I saw online, they've been out since 2007.
Wow, that's a long time.
That's a long time, but not compared to other cars, OEM or car manufacturers.
Right. That's a long time, but everybody
and they didn't. I don't think they've been doing like full cars as to the capacity they can do right now.
Right.
Although today on the website they say the only thing they're importing is the engine.
Right.
And they're also importing the lights, but the rest is assembled in Nigeria.
Yeah, because they haven't got the support from the government and its people. If they got the full support of it, they would have been probably one of the biggest names in the world a year about now. People are talking about their cars, the Nigeria building cars, Nigeria manufacturing kind of cars, their names, everything would have been out there by now. So
Right. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that. But why would I want to buy an innocent motor car when a lot of our lawmakers, they order billions worth of foreign cars, and a lot of them don't even want the innocent brand. For example, an article recently published, I think this was from Sahara Reporters. Then another one from KanyeDaily.com, KNYI Daily.com.
Mm-hmm.
They were talking about how the House of Representatives reportedly decided to purchase Toyota Camry 2020 for members.
Oh wow!
And they officially rejected the cars from innocent models. They purchased 400 exotic cars. Yeah, so that's kind of one of the challenges where you have people getting things like Land Cruiser, Prado Jeeps, and stuff like that, and they're rejecting innocent.
This is where we have a problem at right now in Nigeria is that why will you inject your own cars that you make? Even here in America too, there's people in America that reject American cars, the cars that this government and everybody in Nigeria talking about honing in Nigeria. Some Americans over here are rejecting their own cars. They prefer German cars. Some prefer German cars, and some prefer Japanese cars. So, and there's a lot of people that here in America that also support their own Americans manufacturing cars. Also, some people just love to drive that Chevy, that Chevrolet, that Ford. Those are their cars, their Dodge and everything. If you start going to the Cadillacs and all that, those are the American cars. But if Nigeria starts supporting their own as much as they do in other countries, we have more cars, more challenges, more cars want to do better. The innocent motors probably want to do better too, as because they have competitions. So they're gonna grow fast and even top American cars, and it would have boom the economy. If you don't give these people the support that they need, we're just still gonna be saying there's no job. Yes, it's a job. We can create jobs. If someone have that idea, I never thought that in Nigerians we have something like that going on. But since I just found out that's a great thing, and we should be able to support them.
Yeah, but if you have lawmakers that like to ride in style,
yeah, trying to ride
they
in
like
style,
to ride
the
in
country's
style.
falling apart.
It's not easy to be a lawmaker. I mean, come on,
It's not.
You won't let me to drive, innocent. So people actually, some
that's
people
the pride. That's the pride. That's the pride in Nigeria. Pride with
they
kids.
flat out reject the cars. I remember a guy recently. His name is Tunde Ednot.
Mm-hmm.
The guy dissed innocent models SUV given to him. given to
Right.
Messi by BB Niger. So it's basically some celebrities themselves too.
Yes, you
They
see,
don't. It's like, why are you giving me this kind of car?
right. If you see what it
They
is,
want newer cars or nice cars.
right. Do you see what it is? Is
And this guy's a comedian, by the way. So he came under fire a couple of years ago for that.
Yeah.
Because Messi K gave him a car and he just didn't like it.
well, too bad. If someone can bless you with a car, if someone gifted you a car, you should just be grateful. You know what I'm saying? You should be humble.
And just take it,
And
right?
just
Yeah.
take it.
Yeah.
Even though if you don't want it for yourself, pass it on to someone else that probably truly need it. That's the thing about Nigeria. We live so much in pride, and pride can kill you, and pride can make you go broke. And you see what's going on in the country because of pride. That's why we are broke. We want the finest things. One this, we want that, and that's why we always don't know how to make the money circulate around the people because we just want to go spend our money internationally, not locally. We only spend the only money we spend locally is when we want to go get some eba, rice, and fufu, these little things. But when we want to buy stuff to build a house, we probably go international to buy all those accessories we need for this, accessories we need for that. Nice car, I brought cars, I brought this, I brought shirt, I brought shoes, I brought this. But we never spend the most important money at home that we need.
Yeah, so kind of shifting gears a little bit. What's important about this is that the Nigerian government is making it a little bit harder for people to bring cars in. So there's a law now that if you're bringing a sedan vehicles in, it has to be like 15 years or newer. If you have a car that is older than 15 years, you can't bring it in. So right now, if you want to bring a car, like say a car that is like 2000, it's they don't want you to bring that car in general. I know there are people that knows ways around stuff like that, but and even if you did bring the car in, the fine is always hectic. I mean, some cars you have to pay maybe like $1 million just for clearing the car, not even shipping the car. So just to clear the car, you pay $1 million. Some cars you pay $2 million. Depends, like a BMW, a Mercedes Benz, G wagon. Then maybe for like a Toyota Camry, you can pay 750, 700, 800, depending on the year of the car anyway.
Wow.
So the Nigerian government is actually trying to discourage people to do that, but still a lot of people are still sending cars to Nigeria, in spite of all those hefty penalties.
Yeah, I don't see why they're doing that. Number one, they can't support. They don't want to support their own manufacturing company, a local manufacturing company in Nigeria, and at the same time, they're making it difficult for people to, import cars to the country. So it just like it's just like you say you're speaking growth for your people, but you're not giving them the growth. You're not giving them the opportunities. You're not letting them to trade freely. You're not letting them to create, and you're not supporting them. You're not even donating into their business. Like give them some kind of a support like the American people will do. They will support their business because it creates jobs for the people.
Right, so it's kind of a double-edged sword. On one side of the sword, if you buy a foreign car and you try to bring it in, you pay a lot of money. Like for a 2010 Toyota Camry, you can pay 950,000.
Yes.
It depends on the kind of car, the year of the car, and how sexy or how flashy the car is.
And it also depends on where is it coming from. What I don't know, like shipping cars in Nigeria. I just look at it is it like you buy the car here in America, then you have to pay this extra fines and costs to get the car in Nigeria. Then how much did that car really worth when it gets to Nigeria? Then you have your people of Nigeria buying a car here that in America should be like $1,000, and you're paying more than $5,000 for it. So it's like kind of like taking advantage of or your people being taken advantage of because they're not buying the car for what it's worth. It's not, the car is devalued here in America, where in Nigeria it's upvalued because of the way it gets to Nigeria.
Exactly. The
the
transportation and the
transportations.
means of getting the
Yeah,
means
the
of getting in
struggle.
there.
Those people you have to bribe, and those,
Just to get it out.
just to get it out. And I think Nigeria should, Nigeria customs or government, whoever in charge, should start looking into it. Is that the policy you put around all those things is just making the company is making things hard for your people. Just for one man pocket, for one man pocket to be fat, and just to say, okay, I got this money, but you doing that is creating more damaging to the
Economy.
economy.
Yeah. No, that's a very good point because if you buy a car here, my first car that I drove, which you might have known about.
Yes, I drove it too. Yeah, I tried to drive that stick drive, like boom, boom.
Yeah, this was a long
Time
time
ago,
ago.
yeah.
It was a 1989
Is it a Mazda?
Honda.
Oh, is that okay? Yeah, yeah.
No, it's a Honda Civic, 1989 Honda Civic.
Okay.
But again, so and that car, I'm sure it's probably still on the road because that car was a very good car. My point is that here and in most Western countries, there's not necessarily a limit on how old your car has to be.
Yes.
So it doesn't make sense in Nigeria that they're banning foreign import cars.
Right.
And they put a limit of the year because the problem is that those older cars are actually usually cheaper.
Right.
And because they are cheaper, more people
And
could
they
probably
are
afford it.
easy to fix.
And they're easy to fix. Oh my God, that's
Yes.
very important.
They are
They're
easy
very
and cheaper to fix. You
Yeah.
know, every
You don't
car
have
is
all
break
those
down. No matter how newer
computers.
your car is, it will break down. You can take a brand new car out of the parking lot right now, here in America, and eat a couple of corners, and the car will break down. So you never know
The
what
newer
you're
cars
getting.
are, the older cars are actually more rugged too.
Yes, and they're more tough and more read. They are more stronger than body wise and everything than the newer
They use
model
real
cars.
metal and
You know, we
aluminum,
have in
not
there this
plastic.
fiber
Fiberglass.
glass cars that we're using right now.
Mm-hmm.
So any small touch is what they call it in Nigeria, pafuku. Big old dents and big old, part ripping up so easily just by a wind. So, if you drive too fast, you might blow up. So your bumper might come off by the wind.
So I think the encouragement is that there's innocent models now. I know it's probably very expensive to buy, and most people can't afford it. So Nigeria is in a way also kind of punishing its citizens, by saying if you want to ship a car to Nigeria, or if you have an uncle or cousin or friend or brother or relative abroad, and they want to ship the car to Nigeria, they have to pay through their nose because
Wow, yes.
there's just so many layers. So you buy a car here for like $4,000 US. If you do $4,000 at, let's say, I don't know, 500 just to be conservative, so that's like 2 million naira just to buy the car. Then it also depends on where you are in the US or what part of the world you are in.
Right.
You have to ship the car. So you might pay $2,000 to ship the car. That's another 1 million. So 4 million plus 1, that's 5 million. Then depending on the year on the car, the year of the car, you might have to pay maybe 1 million, 1.5 million at the end of the 800,000. So you're spending almost 6 million to get a car from wherever you are to Nigeria. So I mean, that's like a lot of money. You might as well just buy the car in Nigeria.
Yes. That's what I was about to say. That's what technically I just says. For my family, I just send you the money. I just send you the dollars so you can use it to go buy a car.
Go buy the car.
By the
Yeah.
time-
Unless you want to buy innocent, but
Right.
most people, the name, the brand. I don't know what their maintenance record is, and it's, I don't know. Although they say they're opening branches, this year they should have 3 more branches all over Nigeria. But the main branch is in Anambra. So if you have an issue, you're in Lagos, are you going to take the car back to Anambra? Or do they have parts? So just a lot of things to kind of weed through. But you're right. I'll probably just send them dollars and let them buy the car in Nigeria and pay all the price.
Yeah,
and get the car there.
yeah, that's the same thing. Like we were saying, like most since we have that innocent models now. I was gonna say all basically Nigerian cars are imported cars, but since we have that, if we have people start looking the other way, you need something to take you from point A to point B. So if you have a car that has been manufactured in your country, support that car company. That's going to create jobs for your people. Don't take your money out there to go buy these American salvage cars, or not just. I don't know why I'm using Americans. There's a lot of cars out there internationally. This import cars, these abroad cars. You guys want these
German
German
cars,
cars, American cars, Japanese cars.
Japanese,
All these cars that you want, all this Volvo and all that name brand and everything.
Peugeot.
So all those cars, mostly some of them are water damaged cars. They got caught up in Katrina or something, and they
Or
were
flood,
flooded. They
yeah,
flooded.
hurricane.
And, yes, and in America they won't allow you to drive it. A salvage car like that, they won't allow you to sell cars like that. So what they do, they sell it to third world countries. So that's what we are really getting in Nigeria is all the salvage cars and water flooded cars.
Water damaged cars,
Yes.
flooded cars.
Yes. So just as long as it's running for now, it's good. But after a while, you start seeing rust and everything. Their body's getting eaten up and by the water rust. So in America, American will not allow a cars that's being in a flood zone to be sold to their people, but we sell it to our people, send it back home. So it's just I'm just creating a high opener in that field. It doesn't. I'm not saying all cars that come in Nigeria is in that coming to that
Condition.
form, but majority of them are coming in that form.
Like they're not like your brand new cars.
No.
Although because brand new cars is kind of not readily affordable anyway.
So that's why
Unless you are a millionaire or
I'm
you're
not
a
trying.
big person or
I'm
a
not.
senator or
I'm
something.
not trying to be a promoter for these innocent cars because I really don't know. I have no idea for who they are until now. Until we start this program right now. We're just talking about this podcast we're having. So
Yeah, but we're not, good luck to Innocent Motors. I just want to be clear. They're not sponsoring us. There's no ad. There's no commercial. We don't know anybody. We're just discussing.
right. Without sponsoring us neither. But what we just think is but we can give them the sponsorship. We can give them the sponsorship because they do deserve it. They are in our country. They are in the motherland and they are doing their best. So it's a good sponsorship. They deserve it.
Like with a car manufacturer like Innocent, that's the only one in Nigeria, the government could probably look into subsidizing that. The government could look into subsidizing Innocent Motors and possibly, if you buy, like George Bush did something called Cash for Clunkers. I don't know if you remember that, whereby you take your junk cars and they give you like $5,000 tax credit or something like that. So that's something the government could do to help with uptick of people that will be buying the cars, slowly, like you said, eventually become a very popular brand. I'd be a Nigerian proud car. Yeah, but as we kind of wrap down, I think the message is that support local, buy local. Also, the government can try to help like a local car manufacturers, and I don't think one person should be doing this.
Not just cars, anything local that I see someone is doing. We see young boys that are being creative in Nigeria. The government need to support them. The government need to sponsor them. Send them abroad to even get their ideas up, or helping them in the country right there. Anybody that's doing it.
Yeah, and they can try to encourage competition.
Yes.
So it's not just Innocent. There should be multiple car manufacturers, the
Yes.
whole supply chain. Now, we don't know much about it, but just from what we are reading in the news and the media, my recent experience in Nigeria, I spoke to a lot of people about this subject. So that's the extent of what we know. So we're not like all saying we're authorities on it, but just it'd be nice if more programs like this can be put into place to help people to buy local. And recently I shipped a car to Nigeria, which I'll be talking about in an upcoming episode. The car is in Nigeria now, and it was just a very stressful period of dealing with that kind of situation. So that's kind of why this topic came up.
Yes.
Do you have anything to add, Shopay? Just last final parting thoughts before we wrap down the episode.
Yeah, I'm just it's a big surprise to notice that we have a manufacturing auto companies in Nigeria that's partially, building their own, cars and creating their cars in Nigeria, which is very great. And I just think we should give them some support. And I just want to say shout out to them for doing that. I'm very, very proud for what they are doing. Innocent Motors. Shout out to you guys.
Yeah, shout out to Innocent Motors. And some people, just listening to this podcast, we just want to bring that information to you. The goal of the podcast is also to be informative and hopefully as entertaining and educational as well. So now you know Nigeria does make cars. It's called Innoson, Innoson Motors. It's out in Nnewi, Anambra. So other than that, again, we do want to thank you for listening. Please comment, share, subscribe. We're now on YouTube. We can listen to the podcast on YouTube as well. Please follow our channel. If you'd like to be featured on an upcoming episode, please send an email to lostlegosians@gmail.com. Thank you for your time, and really appreciate all the love and support. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye now.